This video, we're going to go over just a quick overview of how to render. So in Matrix Gold, just some little things to keep in mind. Ideally, you want to have the gem seats cut out for rendering, just because the render engine does use RTX or ray tracing. And since it's using ray tracing, which is, I guess it resembles physical lighting. If there's overlapping surfaces, the surfaces that are overlapping won't reflect light correctly. So that's why it's good, or ideally you want to have the seats cut out. In Matrix Gold, you can get away without cutting the seats because there are some options in the render studio that will allow you to, I guess, bypass the fact that there are overlapping surfaces. So to do a quick render, you're going to go to the render tab at the top and click on Render Studio. That will bring up a box here. So Render Studio menu. Some cases it may not bring a box just because it's overlapping in the dynamic commands. So for example, just to show you what I'm talking about. So like this, if you don't see the Render Studio pop up when you hit Render Studio, it could be overlapping the dynamic command. So down here, you can see I have it in another tab here. So now dynamic commands and Render Studio are overlapping. How I did that, just if anyone wanted to know, you can drag out the menus and you can drag them over another menu, and then you can see how there's this icon with the orange. So you can choose, do you want the menus to overlap, be on top or below or to the side of a menu. So for this, I'm just going to make it overlap. And then here, if I wanted to go back to dynamic commands, I would just go to this toggle on this tab down here. So back to the Render Studio. I can go to my viewport render and I want to change it to rendered. This doesn't do a photorealistic render, but a quick render. The reason I'm going to use this is just so I can quickly see the materials be applied. So for this, right now, this is in white gold. So let's say I want this to be, okay, let's say rose gold. I can go to rose gold 14 karat. Make sure the object is selected. Right click and I can apply material to objects, and you can see it change it to rose gold. I'm going to do the same with the prongs. Right click, apply material to objects. Now next I'm going to do is the gems. I'm going to select the gems. So selection menu. So what this is, if you have overlapping objects, the selection menu will appear. I can get it to appear now. There we go. The selection menu appear, and you just have to select the objects you want to select. This only appears if you're clicking an object and there's overlapping objects. So I'm going to choose gems on curve and then apply the gem material to it. So I'm going to choose diamond ray traced. You can ignore the fact that this just becomes transparent. If you don't like that, because you're gonna, I don't know, take a screenshot of this, you can select the gems and then right click on diamond and apply material, and it's just a different material, and this material it's visible in the rendered view, while the diamond ray trace is viewable in the actual render itself. Now, there are, as I was saying before, there are other materials which you can apply to this that will ignore the fact that there are overlapping objects. So I'm just going to scroll down to the very bottom. And as you can see here, there is these materials here, which these are the metal materials. So these metal materials you have to use in conjunction with these gem materials, and this will allow you to render objects if you don't have the seeds cut out. So because I have the seeds cut out, I'm just going to use the regular materials. So now that I have the materials applied to it, I'm going to go here. In the Render Studio, there's different environments available, so you can select one of these environments. I'd suggest just playing around with each one and basically choose which you prefer or which you like best. They're all going to have different looks to them. For this, I prefer business. I'm going to select that and then apply that environment or general style. And you can have like a kind of a preview of what it's going to look like. You can also change down here the resolution of the render. So let's go 1920 by 1080. Passes 150. So the higher the number of passes, the better the quality of the render. But it also increases the time it takes to do the render. For this particular one, I'm just going to stick to 150 just for this demo. And if I'm happy with all the settings, so the materials I used, the environment, resolution, and number of passes, I'm going to go down here and hit render. And then it's going to render out the scene for me. So as you can see here, down here at the bottom left, it says path tracing sample. So did I choose 150 or 175? Oh, okay. So it's saying 175, but I should have done 150. So as you can see here, it's doing the passes. And once it's done, it's going to stop doing the render. If I'm happy with the way it looks right now, I can just cancel and hit stop. So now that's done. So this took about 32 seconds to render. Another thing you can do, you can install these denoisers. So sometimes you can actually speed up the rendering by getting rid of the noise. So usually with the number of passes, you get a better render or less noise in the image. This one's not that bad. So I don't know if you'll see the difference. If I click NVIDIA Denoiser, so I don't see much of a difference. But this is also the number of passes, again, determines the amount of noise. And if you have a good graphics card, so it'll be faster with a better graphics card. I'm running a RTX 3070 on this laptop. So there's not much difference with the denoiser on or off. But if you do find that you have a lot of noise in your image, you can turn on the NVIDIA denoiser. So to install the NVIDIA denoiser, so I can close this. So to install the NVIDIA denoiser, you can go to the command line, type package manager, and where it says search, type NVIDIA, and just install this NVIDIA denoiser. If you have a different graphics card that's not NVIDIA, you can type AMD, and there's a AMD denoiser. But the recommended graphics cards for Matrix Gold are NVIDIA. So ideally, you probably have an NVIDIA graphics card and you'll probably use the NVIDIA denoiser. So just to show you a different style, I'm going to go to Studio Colorful Diamond, apply that. So now that's applied, I'm going to click render. See the render. So you can see how there's a lot of noise in this. So if I click stop, I can turn on my NVIDIA denoiser, and then it gets rid of majority of the noise. the diamonds aren't looking that good, so what we can do is, so I can close this. So I think there's maybe some overlap. So what we can do is a good way, it's a good time to show the other materials. So I'm going to go down to the bottom here, select these objects, apply material. Apply one of the diamond materials. So I'll probably go with classic. Oh, so I don't see it, but if I hit render, that's a little bit better. Stop this, turn my NVIDIA denoiser on, clean up the noise. And then if I'm happy with this, I can go here, top, save image as, and then save it to wherever you want it to be saved to. And that's it. That's the Introductory to Matrix Gold mini-series. If you have any questions or would like any more training to more advanced videos, check out our website at gvcanada.com.